The Mavs win. Let's go. Bounce back win. Dallas back at home on Halloween. They beat the Kings. And today I'm joined by the one and only, wearing a Fletcher's shirt, Doyle Rader, coming up next. Oh, no, I didn't have the button ready.
Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Welcome to Locked On Mavs. This is one of your co-hosts, Isaac Harris at Mavs.com. Joined today by Doyle Rader. MavsMoneyball, Forbes. Been covering the team for, I don't know, longer than I have. How you feeling on this Halloween? You're not out, like, are you a Fletcher's corn dog for Halloween?
I mean, I might as well be. I recently was working for the state fair, so I ate a lot. I ate a corny dog every day.
Okay, so for people who have never been to the Texas State Fair, what's the one fried food that you're like, hey, that would just be worth trying?
Oh, this year it would have been the deep fried seafood gumbo balls. Those were incredible.
Deep fried seafood gumbo balls.
Yeah,
What in the world?
They were awesome. I actually I did a media relations there. Had Channel 8 do a story on them.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Our overseas listeners are like, what are y'all doing? This is why. But no, yeah, Texas State Fair, I've been like twice, and both times I'm like, I don't know if it was worth it, but I guess I need to take the kids back at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But what's more fun, the Mavericks actually won a game coming after the Denver game, the Denver debacle the other day. That was just a mess. But they play the Kings. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of worried going into this game. But they won on Halloween. It was a day game. We literally just closed out the Zoom with the post-game pressers. And Luka's last question, his last thing he was talking about was how these day games, he's so happy about them because people back home in Slovenia can watch these games. He even says, like, the NBA, I wish they could do more games like this. And I thought that was really cool that he acknowledged that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's something we don't think about, obviously. Like, the day games just are what they are for us. But, yeah, for all overseas players, and, the Mavericks have plenty of those, their hometowns and stuff and their family overseas can watch them, and that's pretty great.
I know we complain about the late tips sometime. It's like 9 o'clock tip off, and we're like, oh, my gosh, where's the – and fans in Slovenia are like, get out of here. We're waking up like early in the morning to watch these games. But okay, the Mavs win 105-99. And I think I tweeted out after the game, I thought this was one of the telling points of the season so far. They improved to 4-2. They're 3-0 at home, which last year they kind of struggled at home. But this is the third time this season that they've held an opponent under 100 points. Last year, it only happened 13 times in 72 games. So Doyle, is the defense for real, or is this just a small sample size? Don't get excited. Or is this actually something that's like changed this year?
That's a great question. I know that they've made a focus on defense this year. Like Tim after the game even said that, the offense isn't what wins you games, it's defense, and that's either home or away. The defense is going to carry you. And that seems to be like the big difference, because they used to just try and blow people out of the gym, and they had a lot of success doing it. But I think it's still a little too early to say that this is a defensive team. But they're definitely making an effort there. That there's a lot of areas that they need to clean up too, though.
For sure. I think Austin Garuya tweeted out towards the end of the game, he's like, the Mavs are going to win this game. Or they've been winning, a few games here, and they still shot like crap again. And it's like they're 12 of 37 from three in this game, 44% from the field. But they're like pulling out some of these wins. And, I say, well, I go the 4-2, 3-0. Like, are you like, where are you at right now? We'll get into the game a little bit here in a little bit. But like, where are the vibes? Where are the Doyle Kobe beef vibes right now? Are you happy with this team? Are you like being patient with this team? Are you satisfied, or are you like worried? I've just been saying it's been so weird. It's been so hard to get like a read on this team. But where's your mindset as a whole right now about the team?
Right. I agree with you there that it's kind of difficult to pin them down. I don't know that they have an identity yet. I would say I'm somewhat worried because they haven't really played well in any of these games necessarily. Yeah. Like they've shown little spurts, that's allowed them to win, but they don't look great. And up against a playoff team like Denver, they just got they got blown out.
Yeah.
So and the ones they're getting are against teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. Let's be real. Like, so I don't know where they stand yet. Like it's early. What was this, game 5?
Yeah, game 6.
Game 6. Yeah. I want to see where they are at 15 games, but 15 games is a lot of games. That's almost a quarter of the season already. So, I don't. If I can't pin them down by then, I'm going to be definitely worried about what the season could bring.
Yeah, for sure. And so obviously KP missed this game, third game in a row, lower back tightness. Don't have any answers about KP right now as far as when's the next time he's going to play. This is obviously an early game on Sunday. Monday, I don't know if they have the day off or not, but they have a home game on Tuesday against Miami, national TV game. I think that could be like a measuring stick game again. Like they go into that game at home, national TV game, and Miami just like smacks them. Now it's kind of like back-to-back like games against bigger teams that you just get smacked and you're like, okay, now we kind of have a sense of like who we are. But so, okay, KP didn't play. Maxey starts in his place, not Reggie Bullock. And we don't know the extent of Maxey. This is one of the takeaways from this game is Maxey left the game with the back injury. If they don't have Maxey, how big of a loss is that?
That's huge. Like that's huge. He's been without a doubt like their best big man this season.
Yeah. Is it bad to say that I'm more worried if they lose Maxey for extended time than KP?
I mean, we've seen the team play so much without KP that it's just kind of a thing at this point. But yeah, Maxey's been the best. He's been the best big man on the team. And honestly, like his loss to the defense, especially the way he's been hustling out there, and one of the few players that's actually hitting threes at the other end.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's huge to lose him because he just provides so much spacing and rim protection at the same time, and it's that'd be a massive loss. I don't know. They just have to play small or play Willie a lot more, I think. And Willie's good. He's a good defender, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I hope Maxey's okay just for the sake of this team.
Or they can just play Dwight like 40 minutes.
I mean, I don't think that's a recipe for success, honestly.
Okay, so this game starts, and I think a lot of us, including, I said a while ago I was worried going into this game because the last time I seen this team play was against Denver. They start the game, and it feels like a much different team. Like the whole vibe of the team, like Luka it looks like he has so much more energy. Everything, they're hitting shots at the beginning. I think within the first like 5 or 6 minutes, all 4 starters around Luka had hit a 3, including Dwight Powell in that. So, question for you too: should we read much into the Denver game, or is that just a one-off? Hey, schedule loss, second night of a back-to-back in Denver, high altitude. Like, were we a little bit too harsh based off the Denver game?
Probably. I mean, Denver's always a tough place to play. Like, they have one of the best players in the league and reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic. Like, so I feel like that game was going to be a loss unless, the Mavericks were really just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. It's not a good looking loss, Like, they really, really just got, Denver mopped the floor with them, just plain and simple. So, I think they can move past that pretty easily, and they did by bouncing back today. But that's something they need to keep, in the back of their mind if they want to like actually be as competitive as they think they can be this season.
For sure. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with Doyle. Guys, thank you so much for making Locked On Mavs your first listen of the day. I know a lot of you guys have so many different options. You can listen to music, different pods, or whatever you want to on your way to work or first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. But so many of you make Locked On Mavs your first listen of the day. And I just want to say thank you so much for doing that. This pod is brought to you by Indeed. Indeed is a hiring partner that gets you what you really want, a short list of quality candidates as fast as possible, because you can do it all. Attract, interview, and hire all at Indeed. Don't struggle on your own to find quality candidates. Indeed can help you hire the right people right now. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process so you can find talent with skills you need through skills like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor or a post, you get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. They just match them up. This is the coolest thing ever. And you can even invite them to apply right away. Get started right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/locked-on. Get $75 credit at Indeed.com/locked-on. Indeed.com/locked-on. Offer valid through December 31st. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. This pod is also brought to you by DirecTV. Does this sound familiar? You've got one device, lets you catch the game live. Then you have another one set up, like an iPad or something, that's streaming like a favorite show. Then you have this other TV with a device that's you're watching sports highlights on on something else. And it's like you have all these devices streaming all these different things, and you're using your neighbors, like best friends, dogs, cousins, aunts, login for all of that stuff. Well, I have you covered because I want to tell you about a simple way to get all the entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream. And it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before. So you can watch your favorite shows, movies, sports, all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device ever again. So get rid of the clutter, the confusion. Get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device content varies by package. All right, Doyle, one of the bright spots of this game, and he actually got podium game for Frank Ntilikina after the game here. Mm-hmm. I mean, what did you expect of Frank going into this season? What because he's exceeding what I thought that he would. And I didn't think he would be like a starter, but what did you expect of Frank going into the season, and what do you think of him right now?
I mean, during preseason, it was pretty clear that he was just fighting for a roster spot in general. And so I was honestly a little surprised he got that last spot, but like he's played so much better in the regular season than he did in preseason. He looked rough in preseason. He couldn't shoot, and now he's shooting the 3-ball. I didn't even know he really had that in his repertoire.
Yeah,
but yeah, so he's impressed me for sure. I mean, he's earned those minutes that he's getting, and I think Kid said it tonight after the game, or this afternoon after the game, that like when you look at the rotation, you have to play him, and you absolutely have to play him because he's, definitely exceeding my expectations for him.
How are you feeling if you're Josh Green right now?
I mean, I really do not know how Josh Green would be feeling, but it's tough for him. He couldn't even get minutes on his national team in the Olympics. Like, I want to say that, hopefully there's a place for him, but I don't know. I mean, he's the odd man out right now, and he looks more kind of like a two-way player than an actual rotation player.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I've been saying over the past week of, man, if you're Josh Green, you go into the season. Now Frank comes in on a minimum contract and just completely passes you up and gets all the minutes in. I mean, he didn't even play tonight. Josh Green didn't, but this combo last year that we somebody coined the term water bugs for Trey Burke and Jalen Brunson together last year. And it's like, we need a nickname for Frank and JB because I think this combination works out way better than the Trey Burke and Jalen Brunson combination last year. Of you have this defender in Frank with this huge wingspan to go with JB, who's playing really well too. But Frank's been playing good offensively too. When he hit that, there was this play tonight where Reggie Bullock did this. He had the ball, came off maybe a double screen, and then gave it to Frank Ntilikina, who shot kind of like an off balance three and made it. And I'm like, what just happened? But it kind of goes into just the short season that, Frank's having over these first 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, who was it? Was it Carlisle that called him the water bugs last year?
It could have. I think so.
It was either him or Dwayne. But yeah, like Brunson and Frank have been absolutely like carrying this team through stretches of games. Like Brunson himself, like contract year, Brunson is awesome. Like he is playing out of his mind, and like I was really happy to see him out there on the floor to close the game. He should be out there on the floor, close the game with the starters.
He should, yeah.
Like he deserves it because he has really quarterbacked that second unit in ways that I didn't know he could do. Based on just what he's been doing over the past few seasons here in Dallas, but he looks great. He's awesome.
And even Frank in like handling the ball, like this is the part of his game that I just didn't like. I thought he was just going to be really shy, really kind of clunky with the ball. But I mean, even Kidd said after the game, he said, man, he's proven he can play alongside Luka, alongside JB, but he can also play on the ball and off the ball. He's had a few like floaters and stuff. I'm like, he already has a better floater game than Dennis Smith Jr. ever did. And I'm happy with Frank. I'm glad they took the swing on him. Obviously, it's only been 6 games. Luka kind of lit up after the game. Somebody asked, I think it was Brad that asked Luka after the game about Frank, and he was like, man, Frank is, he's having an awesome start to the season and how happy he was for him. But I'm just really curious. So I looked up minutes that he played with Jalen Brunson, not including tonight, going into tonight's game, which this will only help these numbers. I know it's short, small sample size theater here. 23 minutes together on the floor, JB and Frank. But they're a plus 35 net rating, 118 offensive rating with an 82.9 defensive rating. I get it. That's not a ton of minutes together. But add in tonight, those numbers will probably improve or at least stay the same after tonight's minutes. And it's a good combo. And I think for all the offensive questions that we've seen with the Mavs over this first part of the season, that's one of the bright spots. Doyle, are you a bright spots, silver lining type of guy? Are you like looking for those, or are you just all, hey, we got to stay negative?
I mean, I just report what's the facts, honestly.
Don't let Kirk rub off on you.
Oh God, never. Would never do that. But I mean, look, when the Mavs are bad, I'll point out that they're bad. When those numbers though that you just read off, those are crazy. I hadn't looked that up, but that is insane. I mean, I think those two need to get more time together.
Yeah.
Like, if that's working that well, then Kidd has to keep going back to that. Just flat out, because they need something, obviously, offensively, and that's just crazy. That's just absolutely I'm literally it's jarring.
Yeah. So okay, let me ask you a bigger question about Frank, since he's one of the topics coming out of this game. What if like Frank's like good, not just right now in 6 games, like he's playing well in his minutes and he's playing well with JB off the bench and in these spurts and stuff, but like what if Frank is like legit good? What is that? What is the role? What does that do for like the team and the outlook or any of that, or should we just table that whole discussion for later in the season?
I mean, it is early, but I mean, I think it's worth looking into, at least discussing right now, because this is a player that the Mavericks did target in the draft, and he was he is a lottery pick of the Knicks. He didn't really do a whole lot with this time in New York, but I think they had multiple coaches and stuff while he was there, so that's difficult to deal with. But hey, if he's gonna be this good, that's awesome. Like move him up into like the 7th man spot or something, like right behind Brunson off the bench, because they need all the help they can get, outside of Luka, because no one else is hitting shots. And so get him in there, get him in the game, get him in to change the momentum.
I know. I seen somebody tonight tweet. Somebody tweeted at me and said, "How long until he takes Dorian's spot in the starting lineup?" I'm like, I don't know about that.
I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
We need Dorian's size against some of these bigger wings, but I do think he's solidified, or he should have solidified a spot as one of those first guys off the bench. With if you look at the bench unit, and let's just say Maxey doesn't start and it's KP and Dwight, I think it's a clear, Jalen, Frank, Reggie Bullock, and and Maxey, those four together now instead of a 2 or 3 man group. But Luka tonight, 10 of 21 from the field, 1 of 7 from the 3-point line. His 3-point percentage this season is it's a rough start for Luka in that, but 10 assists, 23 points. Any general thoughts about Luka's game tonight, and a few little matchup things with Davion Mitchell?
I thought it was funny after the game. Luka said that he was more confident in that center court shot than he was in any of his other threes and free throws this season. So I thought that at least he's got a good sense of humor about everything. But he started off slow, but he finally looks engaged.
Yeah,
At the San Antonio game, he wasn't there mentally. It was until
the Denver game too.
Yeah, like he looked completely checked out, and I mentioned that on Twitter, and of course the Luka fans came after me, but it's true. Like he was not engaged. He was like walking up and down the court, and today he looked a lot better. And maybe this is just he needs to work his way into the season. I don't know. But yeah, he needs to be focused because he is the, alpha and omega of everything this team does. So it was good. He couldn't hit a 3, but I thought he played pretty well today.
Yeah, played good defense. I thought he was way more engaged in this game. I'm with you on the Luka stuff. It's obviously hard to, kind of criticize or poke at Luka some, but I did in the post-game pod against Denver because I'm like, I'm just gonna be honest here. Like, he's not moving well. He doesn't seem like he's checked in. I didn't like some of the body language stuff, but it looked much better in this game. And hey, it was a second night of back-to-back, so I'll give him a pass with that. Oof. Let's go. What's the dog's name?
That is Millie.
Millie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Freaking love dogs. All right, we'll take a quick break real quick, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Guys, earlier I thanked you for making Locked On Mavs your first listen of the day, and now it's your second listen of the day coming up. This pod's about to be over here in another, 10 minutes, and then it'll be your second listen of the day. What's going to be your second listen? We have you covered at the Locked On Network. No matter what other team you're a fan of, if you're a Dallas fan, you're like, hey, I love the Cowboys. The Cowboys are about to play Sunday Night Football. If they win, you need to listen to Locked On Cowboys on Monday. Make that your second listen of the day. Today's pod is also brought to you by Built Bar. Guys, we've been talking about Built Bar literally for years. This is our 5th year doing this pod, and I feel like we've been talking about Built Bars forever. I feel like I need merch at this point because both Nick and I, we get the new flavors sent to our house. We try them out. We talk about them on the show, but then we also turn around and spend some of the money we make on this podcast or from this podcast on Built Bars because we love them that much. Do you know that Built Bar has so many delicious flavors? There's something for everyone. Flavors like coconut, cherry barcia, raspberry, mint brownie, orange, cookies and cream, German chocolate. What's your favorite flavor if you have one? Tweet at us. Let us know what's your favorite flavor. I love the mint brownie. That's a classic. It's been my favorite for a long time. You can also do a mixed box to where they can send you a bunch of different flavors. So you can just test them all out, and then you can buy like an individual flavor box down the road. But 17, 18 grams of protein, calories ranging from 130 to 180, only 4 to 5 grams of sugar, and only 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. Amazing flavors, all tasty, all healthy. Order today and you get the grasshopper cookie or raspberry, whatever you like. You can order and get it today. It's also the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team. It's a pretty cool deal right there. The offer is built.com. Use promo code locked on. You'll get 15% off your order. Use promo code locked on for 15% off at built.com. Okay. Tell me why Moses Brown should or should not be playing.
I mean, I like the thought of Moses Brown for sure. I want to see him out there just to learn and get experience. But, in his, 2 minutes that he played today?
Yeah, he did.
It was not a great showing. He got blown by on one possession pretty bad, and he just kind of looked a little lost after that. But I mean, I think there's some promise there for sure. Like that's a really interesting project, honestly. And I'd like to see him get spot minutes when he can. But when the Kings did make it, this game was a little rough at times for the Mavericks, and the Kings made it a game. And him going out there when he did was, I thought, surprising because that's when the Kings were on one of their little runs.
Yeah.
So then what was that? The third quarter, second quarter, something like that.
The second half, yeah.
Yeah. So. I want to see him, but maybe just in not in close games.
Yeah, I can't help to watch Richaun Holmes and be like, dang it, man,
he's good, man.
You'd be I remember a few years ago sitting in the press box, and one of our mutual friends leaned over and was like, hey, are we sure Holmes isn't better than Dwight Powell? And that was kind of before it was like kind of trendy to like Richaun Holmes, and it's like, okay, now we kind of hear that conversation now. But that Sacramento team is fun. I forgot Luke Walton is still a coach in this league, but the roster is fun. And they had one defensive possession. It was like Fox, Halliburton, Mitchell all together. They just swarmed Luka, and they got a 24-second shot clock in it. And I'm like, man, that has like potential. It has a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously HB is having a great season, but yeah, I'm excited to see where the Kings go this year. Okay, before we let you go, I just want to ask about KP. What happens at this point? Is this just a simple KP will just play whenever he can? I feel like as soon as they announced it today, that he wasn't going to play. Of course, I went to Mavs Twitter. I'm like, I just want to see, kind of the gauging it. Obviously everybody's like, oh my gosh, he's not playing again. This is crazy. But this is 3 out of 6 games to start the season that he's not playing. Is it just hey, whatever at this point, is it whatever he gives us, we'll just be happy with?
I mean, I think that's what it's come to, honestly. Like it's disappointing that he just can't stay healthy, and that, what are they saying? It's lower back tightness. It's just,
yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy. I get it. Like, and I do feel bad for him that he can't stay healthy and get on the floor. I mean, but he is making a lot of money, so I don't feel that bad for him. But it's frustrating as like, and it clearly is on Mavs Twitter because everyone's mad all the time. But I think you really just have to be like, this is what he is at this point, and when he can play, you just take what you can and just go with it from there. Because, I mean, we heard so much from the team about this being a healthy offseason for him, and then boom, 3 games in, he's sidelined again.
Yeah, that's kind of I'm trying not to read too much into it, but just hope that he gets back healthy. Hopefully we can get him against Miami. And I mean, we said it earlier, I think the Miami game could be a tiny measuring stick type of game of Miami's rolling right now. And at home in Dallas, they'll have a couple, a day and a half of rest basically. So we'll see how they play in that. Doyle, since today's Halloween, growing up, what was your favorite Halloween costume that you ever wore?
Oh, I mean, I think I was a Ghostbuster for like 4 or 5 years straight. So definitely that. Yeah.
Just rocked it every year. You just became the Ghostbuster. Everybody knew what kid it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's incredible. Okay, Doyle, you're the man. I appreciate it. Have a great Sunday. Thanks for hopping on. What seed will the Mavericks finish at this year?
7th.
Oh my gosh. We tried to end on a good note, Doyle.
They got to start playing better.
That was like the black and orange candy that you get in the bag that is just horrible. That was what I just got in the bag. Happy Halloween. Have a good day, Doyle.
All right, thanks.